I have similar, like the first, I don't know, 1-3 episodes loved. I was like, okay, this, like, there's no comparison between her and Jennifer. Like, she's the clear superstar, new housewife.
Yeah.
But you always like, well, here's the thing. This whole, her calling Jennifer thirsty, it's like, honey. And they even asked Emily on Watch What Happens this past week, like, who's thirstier between the two? And she was like, there's no question, it's Noella. And I'm like, yeah. Like, so that's the thing. It's like, if you are picking these fights with Heather, like, I always just break the fourth wall. You know what I mean? And like, to me, it's like, I think she's too aware of the show, and I don't buy any of this. I think she's just trying. And you didn't watch it, but she was really good friends with Bronwyn. I don't know if you know Bronwyn, who was on. So she was a housewife on the past 2 seasons, who's not on anymore. And people accused her of, like, she brought everything her second season. Now, whatever's true, like, she came out as a lesbian. I'm not saying none of this is true. I'm just saying the perception of the public was not all of this was true. And like, she is an alcoholic, and there's like a lot, but regardless of that stuff, she was so over the top. And then she lost her job. I'm just giving you the facts, everyone. Don't come for me. This is Bronwyn. No, this is Bronwyn. But
okay, got it.
Bronwyn and Noella, this is more like when people are like, well, look at the company you keep. Bronwyn and Noella were like very good friends. Okay. Now, after Bronwyn got fired, Noella got hired, so they are no longer friends.
Oh, okay.
But because they were such good friends, I see Bronwyn in Noella. And so that's where it's like the audience had a problem with Bronwyn, because they're like, the 17 things that you bring, they're not all true. Like, you are trying because you want this fame. I mean, she's even said things like, I'm addicted to fame. This is Bronwyn. So because this is not really fair for me to judge this, because they were such good friends, and now they're not, just because one lost her job and one got the job. I see how they were friends. And when I watch Noella, I personally think of Bronwyn, and I can't get it out of my mind, because it's the same type of actions to me.
Yeah, I don't see, and that's the thing too. I don't agree that Jen's thirsty.
Like, no thirstier than Noella. Like, if one is thirsty, the other is too. Like,
they're like, you're both on the show,
right?
So like, you're okay with being like on camera, and you're okay with, and also she said something about like, I met you in an event and we took a picture and it was like way too quick. But like, if you meet somebody at an event and you're having so much fun and you're like, doing everything, you're like, oh my gosh, let's totally take a picture. That's like we're in 2022. Like, that's just what happens. Not all the time, but like, if you're hitting it off with someone, right? So yeah, I don't really get, and I don't get a thirst factor from Jen at all. So,
no, and the thing is, like, I understand, like, if you're at a party and you run into like Vicky Gunvalson, who's like the OG of the OC from season 1, like, you want your picture, but like, you weren't on the show. So I don't understand, like, you weren't on this show for 10 years, 15 years, like Vicky, like, no one knew who you were the same way. So when she wanted a picture, it wasn't because you were famous.
Right.
Like, she
were
just
not, thought you were pretty.
Yeah. So I don't really understand that. Like, it's not like you were like Justin Bieber and you're like, stop asking for pictures, people. I just want to go to bed.
Yeah.
It makes, I don't understand it. So Noella has lost me a little bit as well. Like, I'm a little confused about what's going on.
Yeah.
I mean, look, she is going through this divorce in real time. I'm sure the producers were like, cha-ching, cha-ching, like, this is amazing. Her husband says she did everything in life to get on this show, and that's what caused their divorce. And
really?
He says in part, like, she says, you don't want to see your son. He says, like, listen, they all have their own things, but part of the husband brought up, like, this show is everything to you, and you put it ahead of everything else. That's what he says, not me.
Got it.
But I get a little bit of thirst from her.
Noella, I'm hoping she can bring it around.
She does have the sex dungeon.
She does have the sex dungeon. There is that. But like, she's just so pretty. Like, I'm rooting for her. You know what I mean? Like,
she's pretty. She has good style.
She's super funny.
Did you see a lot of sex dungeons in your time in the OC,
I
Jo?
definitely did not. I definitely saw a lot of sex shops, but not sex dungeons.
Well, I mean, you had the French maid's costume. So
I did. Where do you think I got it?
if there was ever going to be a sex dungeon or a moment, you had the costume.
I did.
Do you still have that? Did I ask you that last time? Do you still have
No,
that?
and I definitely do not. Who knows where that thing is? But maybe for fun one day I will just buy another French maid costume just for funsies.
You need to.
And do something with it. Like, I don't know, freaking burn it.
Well, what about, because I know you on your YouTube, you and your fiance watched season 1, episode 1, and kind of recapped it.
We did.
Hey, I'm giving you shout outs for your YouTube channel.
I love you so much. Thank you. And you
Listen,
know what's so sad is it was the #1 biggest video. We got so many views on it, and freaking YouTube took it down. Because
why?
Because NBC has to basically approve like you using the footage. And I knew that, and I had looked up all the rules on how to do it. So like, as long as you don't show the entire episode from start to finish, it was supposed to be okay. But unfortunately, there was a little more sticky tape. So currently talking to some friends at Bravo to see if they can help me out with that. But yeah, anyway, side note. Yeah.
Wow. YouTube is tough. I know.
Yeah.
Because I get things where it's like, this is not ad suitable. And I'm like, what? Like, what happened? Like, what did I do? Like,
Totally.
And then you argue and it gets approved, but you're like, I didn't do anything. Like, I mean, tell me, like, at least let me know.
Yeah.
But that makes sense. But that was that doesn't shock me that was your most watched ever.
Yeah,
it was.
Sense. And so I'm like, okay. So yeah, we were trying to do like a fun, like throwback to like the old episodes type thing. But yeah, YouTube was like, love you, but no.
Did he ever see these episodes before?
So he said no. And that was that was the best part for me, because he had seen, I think he saw like a little bit of the first episode before, but like, he's not into reality shows at all. And which I appreciate, but
yeah, that's better, right?
Yeah. So, but he had also heard like a lot of stuff. And so I was like, babe, I'm just like telling you right now, like the first episode, there's a lot of things that I'm like really sorry about, including like the side boob shot, including like a bra and like pink boa, zebra hat shot. It's not my finest hour. I also think there's like a shower shot, or maybe that's like episode 2. And his poor eyes are just like, what? So I'm like, so I thought it would be fun to like film him reacting to it. Yeah. And
that is fun.
Yeah.
Because I can't remember what was like, episode 1 wasn't the French maid, or it wasn't when you said you wanted to go out all night and went out all night with your friends. I don't even know if that was season 1. I can't, I lose track of what was what episode.
It's all like a big blob. Yeah. But it was actually that now that I've watched it since then, it was actually that first episode. There's a lot in that first episode.
Oh my God. So was he just like
who am I marrying?
Was he like, who is this guy Slade?
He was more like, I'm so happy you're not that girl anymore. I'm like, I mean, I'm not that girl anymore, but there's still a little bit of like her inside me. I still love to drink. I still love to have fun. I still love to wear a great outfit.
Listen, honey, there's nothing wrong with a drink. Okay. So
Right?
let me just, are you, shocked at the fact that you were on that show at 24? Like, look at the Housewives now. I mean, like we had like Ashley Darby and Potomac was close, but you are like the youngest, like 24.
Yeah, I think I'm still the baby.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. The Housewife.
Ashley Darby, I think, was like 26 when she started. So close, but you are the youngest.
Yeah. Yay.
That's
Still
like,
the baby.
I mean, like, you didn't seem it, but like now when you say 24, like there's no housewife being cast today that's 24 years old.